Welcome. That was fast. I swear you
There we
press the
go.
button, you're like, you're live.
You're
Welcome,
gone. Here we are.
welcome everyone to Intuitive Sundays with C and D. That's C, Meagan, Michael, and Debbie Charlton. We are building the bridge between our world and spirit. I'm going to
We are.
jump on Facebook and make this public and make us able to share it. So I just want to welcome everyone. Welcome,
Yeah,
Debbie.
very
Oh
warm
my
welcome.
gosh. Our beautiful topic today, this topic today is soul family. All right. So it's public
Yes.
now. We can share it.
Right,
Do you want me to
let's
send you
just get
the...
this out. Yep, if you send me the link and I'll share it to everybody here as well.
Okay, done.
Let me just see.
Yeah, there you go.
See. Let's just have a wee
All
look.
right. Now let me share it to High Vibrational Mastery. High Vibrational Me. High Vibrational Mastery. Oh, I hadn't thought about that in a while. When Spirit gave me the name High Vibrational Mastery, they gave me the song too. Intuitive
Oh, yes. Right, let's
Sundays
just see.
with C and D, building
Let's see.
the bridge between our world and spirit. Maybe we can get some beautiful volunteers that want to help us out next week to share it out.
Yeah, that would be good.
So we can dive
That would be
in
good.
sooner.
Yeah, because it's trying to. You send that link there, but I don't see it.
You don't see it?
No, I don't. It came on, but it's disappeared. So I'll just go into your high vibrational. I'll do it from
Well,
there.
you can't share it from there. You'd have to share it from my personal page.
Right. Okay.
Because the group is private.
Oh, right.
So I'll just hi Kimmy. Oh, Kimmy, she's our hero. She's gonna share it out. I know
Kimmy. Hello, this is Kimmy.
All right, let me tag you over here, Debbie. So, do you have it? Or
I've got it here now. Yeah, let me just share it out to everybody.
Yes. Share, guys.
Share to groups, right? Let me see. Yeah, share now.
There's a few I'm sharing to. Kimmy's probably already shared to the same groups, but that's all good.
Yeah, I'll share it. I'll share it actually to my own page, to my own name.
Did you already share it to your group?
I've shared it to the group, yeah.
Excellent. Hi,
hello,
Tiana.
Everybody.
Hi, Julie. Hi, Bonnie. Hi, Kimmy. I love you guys.
Oh, hello, everybody. Yeah,
everyone is joining us. I love this. Feel free to share it out, guys. Today is going to be an amazing interactive chat. A beautiful chat.
Please share it out. Hi, Ali. Lovely to see you, Hen. Lovely to have you with us as well. It's great, isn't it? We soul family all coming together. That's what we want.
Exactly. Exactly. The perfect topic, right?
Absolutely. Because that's what we are. We are all soul family. So
thank you for sharing, Tiana.
Yep. Do you know what that actually as well? I shared it into the let me see. There we are.
I have now a member of so many groups, and I honestly don't even know what. A lot of times I just accept, because somebody that I respect and I like sent me the link, and so I click join. But in truth, I've never been to a lot of these groups, and it's not that there's. I mean, I'm sure they're amazing groups with incredible admins and stuff, but I only have so much. So anyway, I really might need to narrow it down. Just
hello, Barbara. Lovely, Barbara.
Hi, David.
It's lovely. It's lovely to see so many people joining us, and it's a really interesting sort of topic tonight. As in soul family. So that's what we're going to be looking at. That's our first week. Soul family. What is soul family?
Exactly. It's our okay. I share it to my story now. I'm going to share it to the news feed. And then I think I'll be done on this end and just leave it to you guys to do more sharing. As you're drawn.
If you want to share it out, that is fantastic. As I say, the more people that can come in and get such beautiful topics to be talking about each week. Oh, thank you, Kimmy. Thank you.
Hi, Gloria. Hello.
Lovely have you
David,
with us,
hi
Tess.
Debbie and Megan.
Hello, my dear wee David. I missed you all. Hi, Julie. Lovely to see you, hen.
Tiana wondering if
Lovely.
there's a message from spirit for my daughter with her grandfather from her grandfather. Not on this show, my dear. Right? This show is
No,
all
not
about soul
today.
family. Yeah. Is it
Yeah.
public? Yes, Kimmy. Thank you. I did that right away. I heard your voice in my head saying, "Is it public?" Yeah, it has to be. Otherwise, nobody would be able to see it. So yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So this is our very first
Okay.
show. Let me once again say
Mhm.
welcome to Intuitive Sundays with C and D. We are building the bridge
Ye-
between our world and spirit. And my name is C.
Yes.
Meagan Michael, and this is my amazing soul sister, Debbie Charlton.
I'm Debbie. Lovely to
She
see you.
is.
Lovely
She's
have everybody coming on. Absolutely brilliant.
oh, it's awesome. This is going to be amazing. And we
I know.
we chose this topic. The show is inspired by spirit, by the way. We're basically
Thank
showing
you,
up.
Julie.
We're
Yep.
basically showing up. We receive the topic, and we don't really have any plans other than to talk with you and receive from
Hmm.
spirit and have a discussion with you. So I want to,
Yeah.
if it's all right, Debbie, I'd like to throw it out there and ask you guys, because I have a couple of things I want to that I recognize as soul family. Um, uh, not symptoms. What am I trying to say? Certain signs. Thank you, Spirit. That I
Yeah.
see, that I notice, that I recognize when I feel someone is soul family, like you are, like Kimmy is with
Hmm.
me,
Hmm.
with I. Huh.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to give a couple of four of the ones that I know of from myself, and I want to ask all of you to share in the
Hmm.
comments
That's what she's
below.
wanting.
How do you recognize soul family? And hi, Edith. Good to see you again.
Hi,
And I'm going to
Edith.
and let's start with Debbie. You want to start it off about soul family?
Yeah. So what we're looking at, and we want you guys to get involved with it. We want you to give there's a comment section here. Put your comments in.
Mhm.
What does soul family mean to you? So what is a soul family? So I mean, I think about it within certain times in your life, you might come across people and you're drawn to them, but you don't necessarily know why you're drawn to them. You just feel like a really strong pull to a certain person. And taking tonight and bringing that in, how I was drawn to Megan or how Megan was drawn to me. Um, there's a connection when you see someone. You don't even have to have spoken to them, but you feel it's maybe the fact that people talk about having a high vibration. Okay, so you're maybe attracted to that energy. It's a high vibration, but then when you start to speak to them, you find out that there's so many similarities that you might have. Okay, so for instance, I believe that we're all drawn together at certain times. There'll be certain people that you'll be really, really drawn to. Don't necessarily know why, but as you spend more time with them, you start to understand the link. And to me, a soul family is a system of support. It's a system of support for each other. Okay, when you can come and you can sit with someone and you can speak to them about, especially about if you think about our spiritual work, for instance, that they can understand you without judgment. A soul family is someone that is also without judgment. It's so
Yes.
important when you think about it, okay? That you can come, they feel as if they're a family member, a close family member. Yep,
Yes.
exactly, Tanya, by the vibration. You're attracted to the vibration. So why are you attracted to the vibration? You're attracted to the vibration because there's that connection there. There is a connection. Yeah, absolutely. You can be, it could be, you have similar beliefs. You actually can find that your life can run in a parallel, which has happened with myself and Megan. We sat down and started speaking and thought, oh my goodness, here's our first thing. We're both born on the same day, but I'm the older sister, mind you.
She's my older sister. Can we just stop there for one moment, just so I can just share really quickly the story for anybody that hasn't heard it? Okay. All right. So I was, how like we have these ups and downs, right? In life
Mhm.
and the ascension, whatever. I was kind of having a down and I needed some healing. I wanted some healing and I didn't know Debbie, but I saw her name online and I saw she said she was doing a trance healing group. And even though I didn't know her and I didn't know any of the people that were going to be there, I jumped in, and because she was an open thing, and so I did, and I showed up, and I just felt so drawn to her energy. I felt so drawn to Debbie, and so afterward, everybody else left. Is that how it worked? And then you and I started talking. Because either that or we met after, but we realized, I forget what I said, something about my birthday, and she goes, "Wait a minute, what's the date?" I'm like, "Well, March 29th," and she goes, "What?" I'm like, "No, there's no way." And she's like, "1965." I'm like, "What?" Born on the exact same day, same exact day.
Oh.
Yeah, but she's my older sister. She's born a few hours before me. But I'm gonna let you take it from there and go back to, but I just had to share that, because I have to say that for me, I know in my life, Spirit shows me things like this, like really kind of like slap in your face. You have to recognize me now. Like, we planned this ahead of time. Before we in pre-birth, we planned it, and we said, we're going to make it so obvious that no matter whether the veil is there or not, we're going to know. We're going to recognize something's going on, and we're going to dive deeper. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, oh, absolutely. And that's the thing. And you see, and I think, as I said, it's the one thing is, so you feel safe with that person. And I mean, in the sense that you can be you. That's the most important thing, that you can be you, that you don't have to put a face up. That who you are is who you see. Absolutely, David.
Yes.
There's no judgment. You feel safe that when you can talk, twins. Well, I think we want to tell you. I think we were swapped them up.
Feels like it sometimes, right?
Do you know? I laughed. Right, Meagan's name. Do you want to tell them what your actual name is, Meagan?
Oh God. Okay, yeah. My birth name is C stands for Karen. C stands for Karen, and Debbie.
And my father, what did my father want to call me? My father wanted to call me Karen, but my mother didn't let him. So there's another, right? And then we found out something just last week. Are you ready for this? I was telling Meagan, my dad wanted to call me Karen, but my mum named me Deborah Jane, and my aunt fell out with her. You see, I have a cousin. And he was meant to be, there was 3 days between us, so he was born 3 days earlier. And what happened was, my mum pinched his name, because when I was born, she pinched his name. And my aunt never spoke to him for 3 weeks, because it was the name she was wanting to give him. Meagan, tell them what happened with you.
And in my life, I have a first cousin, my mother's sister's son, whose name is Carrie. So it's Cary. And when I was born, my mom put an N on the name and gave it to Karen. I'm like, what? What? I didn't even notice it most of my life. It was only when I woke up, I'm like, wait a minute, why are our names so similar? There's an infinite number of names, the two sibling, rivalry, and they use the children in a way. It's kind of crazy. But yeah, I mean, that alone, that's a similarity that doesn't happen every day. Or maybe it does, and I'm not aware.
Exactly. And, and that's the thing. And then we find that when we talk about our path, it's like a path of the opposite of each other. Our life path has gone the opposite, but it actually helps us understand each other, because you can empathize. You know what I mean? You empathize with each other, so there's the other connection. You can see how that connection, and it does, and so for instance, if Meagan's coming and talking to me, and she's saying, and I'm saying, how you doing? I'm fine. Well, no, I don't think you're fine, because I can feel you're not fine. So what's up with you then, Meagan? So this is where, I definitely think within ourselves there is that support. There's that support mechanism is which we're having, and that's what happens within the soul family. We come together. There's times, and I'm sure you all could agree, in our path where it can be a lonely path. It can be a very lonely path, because
I want I want to say that we had a few amazing questions, like from Gloria Rice, and we had them in 3 different groups, and I'm
You're like
trying to
Kelly.
find them right now on Facebook, and it's just too chaotic for me to run So if you would be so kind, I would love Gloria. I had a wonderful question, Gloria. If you would be so kind as to
All
type
right.
it in, or if you want, we could even bring you on camera, and we can. If you'd like to do that, and then you could just ask, and we could just, talk about it right there. So in moving forward, and then we'll have to put the topic in one group, and then everybody can put their questions or comments below it, and they're all, So it's a brand new show. We're just going with the flow here, but I don't want anybody to think we're not paying attention
to the flow. I go with the flow. That's how you know me.
There you go.
No, but that's what it is. This is what it's all about. You're in the show. I'm glad.
Kimmy, your comment came in at 444. By the way, I just wanted. I tried. I wanted to. It doesn't show the timing on the screen, but it shows it right on the right on my screens. So I thought that was really cool too. Trixie, you see a tail? It's one of my cats here. So I want to. For me, there's a couple of signs that are pretty consistent. One of them is familiarity. Familiarity. A person can be a complete stranger. And I feel very comfortable with them. Like Debbie's a perfect example. Kim Siegel's a perfect example. I feel really comfortable talking to both of you, and well, I'll focus right now with Debbie. So I just feel really comfortable, right? And even though I didn't know you, I felt drawn, which was not like me to do that, honestly. I'm kind of a private person, but I was drawn to jump in, and then we talked afterwards, and it was a familiarity. And then talking to you all the time, I always feel comfortable talking to you. And I know you've expressed the same thing about me. We feel like, you've actually said it feels like I'm talking to myself.
It does.
But it's weird, guys, because we've had very different lives. So we're like the same soul, like the same oversoul that incarnated into, and we said, okay, I'm going to do it this way, and you're going to do it that way. And then we'll meet up later and we'll talk about it,
So discuss it.
And we'll discuss it. And we'll help people, So familiarity is one. If my cat wasn't sitting on it, I could access the page that I wrote down. Another thing is you probably want to be with them. That's something that I've found. Like, you really like to spend time with them. You're drawn to spend time with them, and when you're with them, you feel comfortable being you. Now, there's another side to soul family. I'll address that in a bit. It seems like old friends. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't like you and I just met. It's like we hadn't seen each other for a while, and we're just like, or sometimes maybe, right?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
So,
no, definitely. And that's what it is, and also you can come across situations where you can have an experience that really throws you off, but makes you think. And I think that's also, part of the soul family, that they'll come back at certain times to help and guide you. Because remember, just because, we're spirit, so we're connecting on that spiritual level. And the thing is that you could be going through something and you need that support, because other guys, no worries. Thanks, Janine. You can, you understand that person's come into your life, and you maybe been through an awful lot in your life at that time, and nobody else will understand you, because it could be happening to you on a spiritual level. And then all of a sudden, hi Kim, someone will come on, someone will come into your path and you'll connect with them. You don't know why you're connecting with them. You just know that there's a deep connection. And what you're doing is you're coming in and supporting each other. You're giving each other that space that you can be yourself and 100% yourself.
absolutely.
And that, I think, is one of the biggest things to do with soul family. And the more that you are open to that, the more that you will start to find more and more people will come and connect with you, because they feel your energy, and the energy is the same, because we're working on a spiritual level here, you see. And that's the thing. That's the thing. It's like almost like we're holding each other up. and we're walking and the way I always say it, we're walking each other home.
Oh, I love
We're
that when you
all
say that.
coming
We're
and
walking
walking
each
each
other
other
home.
home. And that's it. And all that is the support we're giving each other, that connection, without asking for anything. It's just being there at that time and coming in. And you will notice when you've actually connected to someone on a soul level, for I believe that it stays with you. There's that connection that it doesn't just disappear. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely, David. You intuitively feel and reach out to hold up their energy. You want to help them when you see one of your friends, and I would say when your friends, whether it's soul family, you will feel that connection. You will feel that you feel the heaviness. If they're down, you feel that heaviness, so you want to lift them up. You know.
Absolutely. I agree with you. I absolutely do.
Mhm. You're welcome.
Bear with me, guys. I'm here, and I'm also doing the tech
Finally.
stuff. I'm also the tech guru here. So
Yeah.
birth family is not always your soul family. Sometimes,
No.
and this is my experience, sometimes your birth family, some of them may be soul family, and some of them won't be. Sometimes you may
Mhm.
be born into a family where none of them are soul family. They're from a different soul family, and you
Mhm.
feel like somebody like who
I know.
was I adopted? How did this even happen? I don't
Mhm.
fit into this family. With my family, it was mixed. It was a mix, you know. And I feel like I was talking to my mom in spirit before we came on, and I'm like, I don't think I love you, mom. I do, but I don't feel that you were my soul family. But we did not connect
Mhm.
on this in this life until the very end. We did it. It was a lot of contrast, and if I had been soul family with her, it would have been a different feeling. It would have been a different feeling. And I know that, and that's, but we're close now. But
Yeah.
but that was a good. And my dad definitely soul family. My brother definitely soul family. Although my brother and I are just
Mhm.
getting closer now, because I guess we chose. I
Yeah.
don't guess, and obviously we chose high contrast, experience in this
Mhm.
life, and so these are just there's different variables. I think sometimes we think soul family is going to be all like sunshine and roses, and it isn't necessarily that, because sometimes we choose to play like the opposition for one another. Like okay, spirit's
Mhm.
showing me like you're playing. I don't play football, but playing football or something, and you're both friends or sisters or whatever, but you're on two different teams. And so you're
Mhm.
kind of
Mhm.
against each other, but you're really doing the same thing. That's a really cool one, Spirit. Thank you. That just came in now.
Yes,
Doesn't that
lovely.
make sense?
It does. It does. It definitely does. And I think that's what it is. You always remember there's two things I think that you take out of it, that it's healing. Okay. It's absolutely healing. And whatever way that you're doing, whether that it's someone coming into your life or you're coming into their life, you're coming in the vibration of healing, whether it's healing for you or whether it's healing for someone else. But we have to be open. So in a sense, you think of the learning that we're receiving from that through the teachings, that we're helping each other. We're helping each other to learn and grow. Exactly. Yes, Kim, exactly. So
Yes.
there's different, and you will find that some people will really test you. But remember, that's for you. What have you learned from them coming into your life in a soul family capacity? Okay, so what are you learning from them? Do you walk away from that and not learn? I've stayed the same. So when we stay the same, we don't evolve.
That's true.
So you can see how different situations, different people coming into your life can have an impact on you. And
Yes.
yet absolutely, David, that's one that would be very big if you think about it. When we live in fear, we're maybe faced with situations and people will come in and they will maybe amplify that fear.
Mm, that's
So
a good
there's
point.
another lesson for us, you
Mm,
know, and it takes us coming within and connecting to the spirit of us to be able to handle that fear. Or do we add to that fear? So
It's
you can
true.
see how it's actually it it's like a web in a sense if you think about the interactions of the soul family and the people that do come
Yes.
into your life during, we become a victim of what's happened to us, or we'll learn from that, but it's the people that come in that will either enhance that or will actually help you to deal with it. You know what I mean? Hold on, let's
I,
see.
I do.
Yeah.
Hi, Linda. She goes, glad
Hi,
to be
hi,
around.
Linda.
Both breaths of fresh air, beautiful blessings.
You're
Thank you.
welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.
In my life, I had this is the experience that I chose was definitely a high contrast experience.
Mhm.
Um, and I keep every time I've questioned spirit about that, they're like, because you knew you could do it, and I knew I could.
Mhm.
So being I lived this long to talk about it, I have to share that when I was 3 years old, I met a girl who was 2 years old in the supermarket with our moms. We instantly became, and I was a very shy child, like painfully shy, but
Mhm.
we instantly became great friends, like the best of friends. We loved it. We played Ring Around the Rosie in the supermarket. We were the best friends. And for like 40 years we were friends, but the thing is, with this particular person, I loved her, I adored her, I felt this connection with her like nobody else I'd ever met yet. Okay. But
Mhm.
she wasn't a good friend to me in this life. She was playing a
Mhm.
very high contrasting role, and it took me 40 years to finally end that. I had to. Trixie, you
Yeah.
got to get down, honey. Sorry, my cat is awesome, but she's really in the way right now. She just wants to keep spinning around and around and around. And uh, but yeah, so
Night,
that
night,
was
night.
that was that was an agreement. So it wasn't
Mhm.
until years later, which was just a few years ago, when I had stage 4 lymphoma and I needed a dog walker. I needed somebody to walk my dogs and help me at the time. And so I found the name I was drawn to. I call up, I hear the voice of an angel on the other end of the phone. I just love this person. I'm like, who is this woman? It turns out it wound up being my awesome friend, Diane, who is one of my best friends and absolutely soul family
Yeah.
and an angel in my life. And she was the first soul family member who came back into my life in a positive way. So the
Mhm.
first part of my life, like the first 50 years almost, I felt very alone and abandoned. And that was
Mhm.
the challenge that I gave myself. So some of you may be thinking like, well, where's all the lights and the fairies and stuff like that? I've
Yeah.
had a lot of contrast.
Yeah.
And that's an experience that you chose. But if I let my past determine my present or the future, I wouldn't have met Debbie or Diane or Kimmy
Mhm.
or any of my amazing soul family, and my life
Yeah.
wouldn't be as awesome as it is. So I had to learn
Yeah.
to trust and love, and that was my own experience that I really felt drawn to share with you today. That was really important.
That's
And so when you
beautiful.
meet soul family and you're both really connected and you're coming to support and love and lift each other up, like Debbie said, you know it. And it's a feeling like there's no
Mhm.
other feeling, right?
No, no, absolutely not. And the thing is, I mean, you will have like I'm blessed. My three closest friends, I'm still as close to them now as I was then. Night night, Janine. Thank you for joining us, darling, and sleep well, darling. Night night. Um, they have always been there and supported me with so much love for me, and at times where I would have been insecure within myself, because as a child, the same again, I was very shy, I was very sensitive, but through the way that they were, I always knew that they had my back, and it's still to this day, I'm still as close to them as I was then, but it's because I could be me with them. I could be me, and that's the thing. So
Love that.
each thing teaches us different lessons, and that's what's important to look out for. Each experience you have will come and guide you in the lesson. So the lesson, what I'm saying there is, the lesson may be hard and it may be really draining on you, but
Mhm.
I always believe it's what it teaches us and how we come out the other side. And the way that that happens is through the people that surround you. They will all come to give us different lessons, as we also remember we are doing the same. we're helping out people to understand themselves. Because remember, you're a reflection, you know?
That's true.
It's so, so true in that sense. You're reflecting back. So whatever you're feeling, you're reflecting back. So sometimes you may think it's them, but it's actually yourself.
It's
And
you.
it's
Yeah.
hard because there's the lesson. There's the lesson, isn't it? They're coming to teach you something.
Yep.
And the hardest things is to be able to look at it and accept, yes, it's actually me here. And there again, what does that bring back to healing?
Healing.
Isn't
It's all
it?
about healing, right?
It is. It's healing ourselves. It's healing, helping to heal our friends through ourselves being honest with ourselves. When we're honest with ourselves, what do? People become empowered through your honesty of
Yes.
yourself because they can then become honest. And this is what we're all doing. In a sense, as I say, walking each other home,
Walking each
isn't
other
it?
home. Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely, Debbie. Gloria, if you're still here and if you have that question, which I don't know, I'm still looking for it. Hi, Meagan Boo Boo.
just see.
I wish I could find it. But anyway, if you're here and you want to do that, or if anybody's here and you want to jump up on the screen and ask your question live, I'm going to actually post the link in the comments. And I can't guarantee we'll be able to pull everybody up on the screen, but you'll have a chance. And if I could find the link. And Meagan, please, honey. I love you too.
Yeah.
I love Meagan, sweetheart. Okay, one moment. Oh, Meagan, all right. She wants to say hi. Okay.
See, Megan, and there's Boo.
Wow, that hurts. Oh, goodness.
See,
Okay,
your
please
family, that's your dogs too.
Oh my gosh, yes.
The dogs and the cat.
Totally soul family. Both all
Absolutely, isn't it?
my angels. All right, so where is the link? It's right over here. I'm gonna pop that in the comments. And so I just want to make sure I'm putting it in the right place. Well, hopefully, wait a minute. No, I have to need to put it here so that everybody sees it.
Yeah.
Okay. There. Okay, now it's in the comments. All right, so if you're drawn to jump up on the screen and go and come up and talk with us for a few minutes, then please join us. Please join us. Kelly Ann says, "Oh, my pups are my soul family too." Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, definitely.
My other soul family members right here too. He wants to say hi.
Oh,
like,
look
hi,
at that
Mommy,
wee
I
pop.
give you kisses. He's like, I give you so many kisses. I love you, Paws. You're a good boy.
Oh,
he's a good boy.
Oh, it's gorgeous, isn't it?
Yeah. How's
Hello,
Maisie?
Tracy. Hello, Tracy. Oh, she's out somewhere in the back there. How's you, hen? Lovely to see you, Tracy. Come and join the soul family talk.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, what are some other signs, guys? What are some other signs? Have you met soul family in this life, and you're sure? And what was a sign that led you to realize, oh, this is something different. This is something,
Yeah.
And Yvonne is saying that's beautiful.
And what did it teach you? What did that? Can anybody think of an experience you had where there's someone that you've met that's really made a difference and what it actually taught you? What was the lesson? Because, when we speak and we talk about our experience, it can help others too. Always remember that, Anybody, any thoughts? Or even if you put it in the chat, if you don't want to come on camera, if you want to put it in the chat, just your experience.
You can type it in. I'll pull it up on the screen like this, or you can pop in and use the link and jump up on the camera with us, whatever you're drawn to do. I gave her, I was kind of hinting to Kim yesterday when I was live with her. So I don't know, she didn't, but I just invited her again, just in case she's drawn. Tracy says, when you meet soul people and you connect things, when you connect things start to change. Oh, I love that.
Absolutely, Tracy. I mean, that's a really, really good one there. Do you want to talk about it yourself? What did you think? What things started to change for you? Do you have an example of that you maybe would like to share with us even? energies change and things become that's the one thing that whether you're in actual in alignment, and here's what we would say, in alignment with someone. So
Yes.
you're speaking your truth because your energy doesn't lie. Always remember that your energy won't lie. So you're speaking the truth and how you're actually feeling, and through that you have that connection with that person, and you do things that they call it, they talk about synchronicity, but you will find that things start to move, there's positive changes will come, but it's also that you start to feel different within yourself. So it's not only the changes around you, but you can actually feel better within yourself, because you've made that connection. You can
And
also meet people that feel like soul family at first, and after time you oh yeah, but then again, I
I've
think, Kim,
married a
that
few
can
of
also
those.
be and I always think about it in this sense, is that that could be their learning, that could be their lesson, in a sense that I find that every experience that I've gone through, no matter whether it's good or bad, in a sense, if you look at it that way, it's actually teaching you so much, and you might not be apparent about it at the time, but it's after, and you look back and you think, oh wow, that really helped me. I understand that now. I'm glad I went through that, because if I hadn't gone through that, I wouldn't be the person I am today. And that's the one thing I always say.
That's how I
Every
feel about
experience
cancer.
that
I don't
I've
want to
been
do it
through,
again, but I'm sure glad
yeah,
I
no,
learned
no,
that.
but that's it. But you learn to. There's things that you maybe learn to appreciate. Do you know what I
Hmm.
mean? Yeah. What was that, Tracy? Something you just. Yeah, that's it. That it's that connection, and the connection can be so strong, and you think to yourself, "Oh my God, there's something about this person." And what I tend to find is, I'll get like a feeling about something, and then that starts to grow. The feeling starts to grow, and then in the case with Megan, I would have been aware of Megan, and then the next minute she was in my healing, in the healing circle. And then afterwards, we had a chat afterwards about it, and that was to come on your show.
Yes, that's right. I
So
invited you in my show to be a guest. Hmm.
yeah, yeah. So it's there was a connection, first of all. So I'm scrolling through Facebook. It's all new to me, this, and I see Megan, and I'm attracted to the energy of the show High Vibrational, which is
Hmm.
Megan is presenting, and then the next minute Megan ends up on my healing circle. I didn't know Megan. I'd never spoken to her before. And through talking, we got talking at the end, and that's when you said, "Oh, we'll stay behind, and would you like to come on to the show?" Yeah, that's fine. And then with that, you start to talk, and you think, "Oh my goodness, the similarities are really unusual." There's so many similarities. You know, and then, as I said, when you look back in the course of the year, what has happened, and how the support for each other.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And then when
Mm,
my mom transitioned, well, first when she was sick, and then I mean, if it wasn't for you, Debbie and Kim Siegel and Kim
mhm,
McElwain, I don't know how I would have made it through
mhm,
that time. Yeah, obviously
mhm.
Spirit would have been with me, but I'm just saying, I know we planned this. I know we planned this
Yeah,
because you guys were so.
yeah.
Oh my gosh, you were there helping me to be okay,
Mhm,
and healing my mom, and giving her
mhm.
comfort while she was,
Oh, yeah,
transitioning and
yeah.
stuff. It was a really powerful time. And there's a lot of reasons why we choose certain times. And there's no real time in spirit,
Connection.
but when or some earth time, why we choose certain
Absolutely.
earth
Yeah.
times to reconnect. I want to just jump back to
Mhm.
Kimmy's comment for just a moment, because this is what I feel about that. I personally feel that
Yeah.
sometimes we feel that someone feels like soul family. Maybe, okay, well, this, I didn't know what soul family was like when I married, and I don't know, maybe my one of my husbands could have been soul family. I had a few anyway.
Mhm.
But it was extremely high contrast. But I also do feel that sometimes there's it's a psychology. Like there's a parent or somebody in your
Mhm.
childhood who treats you a certain way. Okay, like for example, if you wind up in a lot of abusive relationships, you probably had something in your childhood, like I did, which
Mhm.
was like a manipulative parent who was very highly contrasting. And then what I would meet, and this is not just me, this is psychology. Then you meet other people in your life, and when they have that same kind of relationship with you, it feels really comfortable. So it might, and this is my
Mhm.
own theory here. I could, my theory that they could it feel like soul family when in fact it's just a reflection of the situation that you had
Yes,
before.
yes,
Or sometimes
yeah.
they are soul family, like I think my second husband actually was, but we really chose, a hardcore experience, to learn and
Mm.
share from. That was, but anyway, I had to address that because I really felt that that's a thing. So you want to read this?
What's this? My soul family have come into my life at the perfect time. My closest soul friend saw a picture of my deceased mum and felt she knew her, but there was no chance in her in this life. She has been like a mother to me and a great friend. Ah, absolutely. And that's the thing. Sometimes you can meet people and they actually remind you either with the way that they are towards you or even in looks, they look so much like that person or the way that they treat you,
Hmm.
and I definitely believe that's the case. I think even in like when I moved to Ireland, for instance, my husband's father, he kind of like in a sense took over the place of my father. I had a very close relationship with my father. So moving over here, and at the time, my family, here, and they weren't really huggy as what we would have been there. But yeah, I get such a great connection with my husband's family. They showed me love in another way as well. Do you know what I mean? But the connection I had with his father, I didn't miss my dad as much as I would have if I didn't have that not replacement, but that love that I felt from him because I'm so close to my dad. I'm close to my
That's
mum as
beautiful.
well, but just having that special bond and to be able to have that with my husband's father was just beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And the same like now, we both lost our dads. My husband and myself lost our dads within a few years of each other.
Oh
But,
wow.
having it's the same, like I have the strength of my husband's mum now, the same as the strength that I have from my mum over there. So, I always think there's people in your life at certain times, but we're open to receive that. We can either, walk away from it or receive it, and the more open that we are and honest with ourselves, we can change what's round about us. So people start to connect with us in the same way that we connect, but that's just by being open and not being afraid. And
Yes.
there was another one, it's that fear thing, not being afraid to be who you are. The more truthful you are with yourself, the more that energy then impacts those around you. Because sometimes we hold ourselves back because we don't want to look silly or, oh, I better no laugh, or, people be thinking, oh gosh, she's about to Egypt that one. But the more open we are, the more we're ourselves, the more that's what you're creating around you. Remember, we create. We create
Exactly.
from the vibration of ourselves,
We
so the more
create
you
this
are you.
reality.
Yeah.
We
You
do. We
think about
create
what
this
kind of
reality.
reality do I want?
Hmm.
Uh-huh. And the thing is, it's not to say that you can't stop bad things happening, but because of the way you are, you'll deal with it different. You'll deal with it different. Do you know what I mean? So you create
Yes.
through the mind and through the connection to yourself,
I love that. I
and
want
you
to read.
realize how powerful.
I want
Sorry,
to
on you
read
go,
this.
Megan.
I want to read this. So I Googled soul family earlier. I said, let's see what Google has to say about it. And
Yeah, enjoy.
Google says soul family is the spiritual equivalent to your birth family here on earth. They may take the form of a relative here on earth or could be anyone in your life. When you meet them, they feel like your siblings, parents, or children. I don't know if I exactly agree with that. What are your thoughts on that? Of course, remember, it's just
Well,
Google.
there's as you say, but just always remember it's a theory, it's a thought, okay? So
Yes,
everybody has their
yes.
own thought. And what I would
Mhm,
say
yeah,
is if you feel it, to me it's real. If you can actually feel it,
that's true.
if you feel there's a connection to that person, you might not know why you have that connection, but if you feel it, there's something that your energy is telling you. We talk about the gut instinct and how the gut will tell us when there's something's wrong. You get that
Yes.
feeling within you if something's not right. So you can meet a person and instantly, and I'll not use the word dislike, but there's a distrust there. But remember, it's energy
Dislike
to
might
energy
might
here.
might be accurate too in certain cases.
Mhm. But you know what I mean? And you think, why are you feeling that?
She's so
Because it's
nice, my
you're
sister.
connecting. And
My
that's it. But
halo's a little
always,
tilted. Hers is still straight on. I'm like, hey, mine's a little off center. Kim says, sometimes I feel like I have
mine's
no
just
family
different.
until I meet my soul family. That's really kind
Oh,
of how I,
definitely.
yeah, I fear, I understand.
Yeah, no, definitely. And but that's the thing is, isn't it good when you have your family and you have your soul family in the sense that you've got one or the other or both,
Hmm.
because that's what gets you through, you know, to
I
come and
agree.
sit and be able to talk freely about who you are and your
That's the
thoughts.
most That's the most amazing experience. I did not know what that was like. Diane was my first friend that I met where I didn't, because when I met her, I had spent, I hadn't, I can't listen. We create our own reality. I thought I played the victim for a lot of years until I realized it's a choice, and I'm no victim of my.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? I create this stuff, but back when
Yeah.
I didn't know it, I kept creating this same reality over and over again, choosing
Hmm.
friends or people that would
Yeah.
not agree with me, high contrasting, where I would say something and they're like no, or whatever, or judge me or try to tell me how to live my life better than I knew how to do. And so I kept picking the same kind of people without knowing it. So when I first met Diane, if I would say I had gone through a very 8 years in an extremely unhealthy relationship, right? And so
Yeah.
I moved here, I left everything behind, and that's another story for another day. But so when I meet Diane, I didn't have any friends here or anything. So now I had stage 4. I don't have. I had stage 4 lymphoma, and I have no friends. And so I meet this woman, and I feel so connected to her. But every time I would say something, I would kind of like
Mm.
I shared something, and I would almost hold my
Yeah.
breath because
Oh,
I thought,
yeah.
oh, here
Yeah.
it comes, here it comes. She's going to judge me now. Here it comes, and I recognize it, and but never came. This is like years later, and to this day, the woman doesn't, you know, she does not judge,
Yeah.
and I don't. I've learned how to be a better friend because of her. I've learned how to be a
Aye.
better sister and a better dog parent, a better everything because I have this experience with her. But had I not had the contrasting experiences
Mm.
with the people before her, I wouldn't know, I
Absolutely.
wouldn't have had anything to compare it to. I needed to do the whole
No.
thing for the balance. That's what Spirit's saying right now.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's true because what it does, if people challenge you, it makes you look at yourself. Hi, Julie. Lovely to see you. Absolutely lovely to see you, darling. Um, there's situations that will come into your life and they'll challenge you, really, really challenge you. Sorry, Edith.
Mhm.
Lovely to see you. Lovely having you with us, darling. See you again. Bye now, Edith. Um, and I think that can be one of our biggest lessons. People will try, in a sense, to shake you, okay? But to
Yes.
me, the biggest strength is within you to learn from that to move forward. It doesn't mean to say that you take everything that someone says, but what it means is, that we don't get caught up in the negativity
Right.
of others people's dramas, that we continue to walk proud forward because you're setting that example. It's not that you're ignoring it, you're setting that example. Yeah, it's so true. Yeah, Julie, absolutely. Because remember, everybody has a thought, okay? Everybody has a thought of life, of this is the way that it is. We might not agree with
Yes.
it, but what we can do is walk away from it and allow our own truth to stay with us. That doesn't change who we are,
Yes.
but through that people will start to see, mm, what am I getting from, like, say for instance, you're retaliating.
Hmm.
All you're doing is, in a sense, damaging your own energy
Yes. Absolutely.
because it's through fear. or maybe ignorance. There's many aspects that can pull you into a situation that you don't know why. But by just saying, no, I'm staying centered, and think about it that way, I'm staying centered in my own energy, in my own power.
Yes,
That to me is so, so powerful. And I've
it's
learned
true.
that through years and years. I've learned that it's better because, not everybody's going to agree with you, but that doesn't matter. There's nothing wrong with that. And that
No,
they've got their
exactly.
own opinion, and once we really learn that and think, okay, I'm not becoming involved in that because, okay, I understand. Yeah, boundaries, absolutely, Jessica. It's just so so true. Everybody has what they think is their boundaries, as in what their beliefs are as well, and it takes a lot of respect from us to say, okay, that's fine. That's what you believe, and I totally understand that. But it doesn't mean to say we need to take it on. It's not personal. It's not
Yes,
personal to us. It's not
and some
personal.
a lot of
And
a
what
lot of us have.
happens
I'm sorry.
is,
Go ahead.
sorry, that a lot of us,
Mhm.
what happens is we become emotionally attached to what's going on. And it could be nothing to do with us, but we
Right.
become emotionally attached. But by stepping out and stepping back into our own energy, reacting to someone else who's on a lower vibe. Yeah, it does. And you will find that you become irritated. Maybe you might find that you've got headaches. You could find that your sore stomachs. These are all could be symptoms of becoming emotionally involved in something else that's really nothing to do with you. Remember, because at the beginning, it's a thought, is that person's theory on something, so it's
Yes.
having
Yes.
that respect for that person to say, okay, I respect that's what you think, but this is my thoughts, and I'm happy where I am,
And
and we
this takes
learn from
growth.
each other.
For a lot of
Oh,
people, this takes
massively.
growth because I wasn't okay. So some people are supported in childhood, and they're like, and the parent teaches them. So what is it? What do you think about this? What kind of food do you like? What activities are
Mhm.
you interested in? I didn't have that household, and a lot of us didn't
Mm,
have that household. My dad was a very
yeah.
busy working man, and my mom was very domineering, and it was all about her. I love you, mom.
Mhm.
We're really really close now, by the
Yeah.
way. But she was very, she my greatest teacher, honestly, is my
Yeah.
mom.
Oh,
And
yeah,
so
yeah.
I have my moon is in Pisces, so I'm very really sensitive, and my rising sign is Scorpio,
Mm,
so I'm like a super sensitive soul, and I wasn't taught to think for myself or to have my own feelings or
mm,
to even know what I like. So I
mhm,
was always
mhm.
looking outside of myself for some kind of validation, and so it's a
Yeah.
very painful world and a very cruel world if you're looking for everybody else to validate your existence. It's not going to
Yes.
happen.
Oh gosh,
And then
yeah.
when you
That's
then
massive.
when you move out and you say, okay, I'm
Mhm,
going to start my own life now. For me, anyway, I literally was afraid to
mhm.
talk to anybody. I'm like, okay, now
Wow.
I cut myself off. I moved away. I left everything from my past behind. I literally had maybe like a
Yeah.
backpack and a new life. And I'm like, well, I was afraid to get to know people.
Mhm.
What, and I use the word afraid because I was at the time.
Yeah,
That's where I
it's letting
was.
go. Yeah.
It's letting go, and it's all about what you're saying.
Mhm,
It's all about the self-love and the boundaries, like
mhm,
Jessica was saying. And then once you
mhm,
have that self-love established
mhm.
within you,
Yeah.
and then you keep building and building on that, and then you meet amazing soul family members like I have with
Uh-huh.
Debbie, and Kimmy, and you have, and then
Mhm.
they validate you. It's not that I need Debbie to validate me in this
No,
life,
no,
but
no.
because I
Mhm,
validate myself and we resonate on the same frequency, and our
mhm.
relationship is just very, and we don't always, although I think we actually do usually agree, but if we didn't, we would talk about it.
That
It
would
wouldn't be a
be,
big
yeah,
deal.
exactly.
You know
No,
what I
no,
mean? It wouldn't be like, oh my God, I'm so hurt because she disagreed with me. It's not
no.
personal, just like
Mhm,
Debbie was saying. I
mhm,
had to share
and
all
that's
that.
it. No, lovely. And just a couple of the comments there, Yvonne was saying, could it be that we tune into people as soul family because we're on the same frequency and everything is energy? I think a lot of the time, Yvonne, well, I personally feel that when you are very much in tune with yourself, for instance, Yvonne, as you grow, okay, as you grow within your own confidence and of who you are, you will start tuning into others of the same frequency. I definitely believe that, because remember, when we are in tune with our truth, so our truth to me is what feels right to us, but other people will be drawn into that because that's their truth too. So everything is energy. It's just we are tuning in, but in a sense, we're tuning in a bigger way. But we're allowing our awareness to expand into that, and that then draws the same energy back to you. Remember, we draw the same energy back to ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
So I,
Yep.
yes, I
You
agree
get
with you
what you
in
put
that
out.
sense, Yvonne. You know, what you put out, you'll bring back to you. So you think about it, if we're always negative about things, that's what we're bringing back. You know, that's what we're bringing back to ourselves. So as I
That's
say,
true.
each experience, you know, you'll have experiences which is over and above, could be a learning curve for us. But as I say, think about it, you're connecting to that experience with the same energy. So if you're positive, if you think positive, my mother's always saying to me, you're too positive, Debbie, you always see the good in everything. But it's how I choose to be. It's how I choose to be. I know that the situations around me, there might be situations it's not very nice, but my personality, my energy will deal with that the same way I deal with everything else. You know, so that's the way I look at it. So yeah, no, Yvonne, I do agree with you in that sense. I know Tracy was saying, now let me
Is
see.
okay. Can I throw a cat among the pigeons and ask if you meet more than one soul family, as in a group of people that are a soul family, but just are on a different path and it's not quite fitting
What?
in. Debbie?
Yeah, you think about it there. Yeah, Tracy, a really good one there, and I love it. It's the same thing. Think about it. You're learning from them as they're learning from you. So,
Mm,
okay, they're on their path. They're on a different path. So they're walking this way, but you then cross because there's something either you're bringing forward for them or they're bringing forward for you. You've asked for this. You've brought this into your energy. You wanted this experience. So you have the free will there. So we come into it and we take the free will so we can decide, okay, so what are we going to do about this situation? Are we going to do something about it? Or are we going to walk away from it? But the end result is, if you haven't learned from it, you may, as Megan was saying, you may experience the same thing again, but in a different situation.
yeah.
It keeps coming back. Remember, that's your energy that you're sending out, which is coming back to you. So yes, very, very much so.
Yeah.
That can be the case
Yeah,
there.
you can
You know.
you can marry the same person 4 times in 4 completely different people, and they have different jobs and they're different ethnicities and they're different ages and they maybe even different genders. I mean, they're way different, and you think there's no way they're like my ex, and they're all the same. You have the same relationship because yours the same because you haven't changed.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
you have to
yeah.
you have to be. Spirit told me, and I didn't know it was Spirit telling me this in
Mhm.
2013, right when my life was making a big shift in 2012, 2013. And they said, become the person you want to attract and you will attract that
Mhm.
person. And I'm like, oh,
Mhm.
that's very wise. Now I know who it came from. But at the time, I'm like, oh, that's really good. I'm going to go with
Yeah,
that. It's true.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
absolutely true.
Absolutely. And the thing is, you think, right, okay, here's the other thing you have to think about, right? So, how long does it take to get there and for staying within it? Jessica, is a continuation. It's a
Mm,
continuation. Just because, think about it this way, you've sent out what you want, right? It's come back to you. And you think, right, I can let everything go now. Everything just plain sailing. Like, it's not. It's not. It's continue working. It's continue learning. So we have the situation we want, but then all of a sudden you might things start to go a wee bit wrong. So you have to put more energy into that. What's the energy that you're putting into it? Are you putting the same energy into that now that you did then? Or have you lessened the energy? Have you taken a bit of the passion away from that? So you can understand, you know, you might get you know, you're always in this positive frame of mind. You're allowing your energy to your own power to move you forward. And it's lovely and it's great. And then all of a sudden you come to a standstill and you think, why is this like this now? Why am I in this standstill? But
yep.
what you don't understand is we need to keep feeding that energy into it. You need the energy you feed in is what comes back to you. So if you change that vibration, think about it that way. If you change that vibration, then the situation's going to change around you. You know, it's a
So true.
reflection. You think about it, we're reflecting out. That's what's coming
Yes.
back. So
Yes.
that's where it's continuation of the work. But think about it, through the work you do, that's the healing you're bringing into yourself.
It's true.
And through the healing within the self, you start to change the circumstances around you. And that's two things again, which I think a lot of things that people have been talking about is fear.
Mm-hmm.
You know, do you stop doing what you're doing? Do you stop doing what you love through fear, through judgment of others, through thoughts of others? It all comes to the energy, you know, and that's what I feel. That's what I feel it's a
Dave,
lot of that can be about.
David has a great comment question, but at first I want to say,
Mm-hmm.
where was that? Oh yeah. So like with spirituality, Debbie is very experienced. Like her whole life, she's been right. I mean, we're not going to go into her whole past right now. She's got an amazing story. But Debbie's always, known that she was a medium and with spirit and all that. I only learned a few years ago, like maybe not even 7 years ago. Even though looking back, I reflect now and I realize how I've always been sensitive. So in my spiritual journey, my soul connection with Debbie has been extremely beneficial. I'm hearing the word benefit, validating, helping me to grow, because I had somebody who, not only do I feel comfortable with you, but you're very well versed in this particular subject, which is like my whole life, and so that's really important too. So I feel like I need to say that soul family sometimes, like my relationship with Diane is on a whole different level and we're so close, but she's not on the same path that I'm on like this. You and I are on the same path in this way. And so you might have soul family and you're super close and you can be yourself with them, but you're not going to have all the same things in common. And that's okay too. I had to share that.
No,
and
it's so true. Yeah.
Good.
So, David, sorry. Sadly, there are people who are living in toxic relationships and becoming damaged. A lot of them take on their energy of fear towards men or women, and that's because they haven't healed the repeat pattern of what they're. Absolutely attract back to themselves. Exactly, and I think that's it. If we don't learn, we will keep inviting that same process, and that's the thing. People that's been through these traumatic experiences, and especially as young children, more so, it has such a massive impact on you moving forward. But then again, the amount of work that you do on yourself and the people that surround you, as I say, maybe not family, but friends, the people that surround you, they can have a really big impact on you as well. Do you know what I mean?
Huge.
Because they can help you to see you in a different way to what you see yourself. They see the beautiful person that you are. They see this amazing person. And when you hear those words from others, you start to hear the truth of who you are and not what you were told you were.
Yes, I so agree. And I'm all about self-validation and self-love, but I have to say that after that, for a lot of people, and I was one of those people, that after a lifetime of invalidation from others, attracting more and more people into my life that invalidated me, I didn't know how to self-validate. And so the first time I was validated, and so, and somebody didn't question me or said something positive, I was like, oh. And it washed over me like a feeling, Debbie. And it felt like a feeling like, oh, this is my truth. This is my truth. It wasn't an arrogance or, oh, yeah, I'm so great. It's wait a minute. You mean, this feels good to me. This just really resonated. And so you're going to find that when you have people that you love and respect, that when you do get that external validation, if you are in a place to receive it, then it's going to help you to validate yourself. So you don't look at that outside of yourself to be lifted up. You do that from within, but sometimes you really need, after you've damaged, and you've been through a lot of things in life, sometimes you do need, at least that's been my own personal experience. You need that. And I feel like we purposely choose to come into each other's lives at the right time,
Absolutely.
in divine timing.
Exactly. But it's like also, I just feel that if you feel a beauty within yourself, you can help that beauty to grow within. And that's self-love.
Yes.
It's hard to look at yourself in the mirror at times and love who you see. And do you know the reason why? Because of your past, the judgment of others, the fear that's been put on you. But see, when you can really look in the mirror and see the amazing, beautiful person you are, and the more that you can do that, the more that you can feel who you truly are. The incredible person, incredible spirit that is
Yes.
you. And do you know what happens when you do that? You help switch on that in other people.
Yes.
They feel that, they see that, they start to see the incredible person they are. And there's not a hint of arrogance in that because that's self-love. We
Yes.
are all beautiful people. We are spirit. That
It's true.
is love, true, true love. Unconditional love.
And we're all perfect just the way we are.
Yeah,
We're all like
Mhm,
different
mhm.
pieces of a jigsaw puzzle. We're all different
Yeah,
shapes and
yeah,
sizes,
yeah,
and we all have
yeah,
different abilities and different gifts and different. We're different. We're all different, and
yeah.
yet we're all one. We're all part of one whole
Absolutely,
collective.
absolutely. When we can look at each other and not see the flaws, but see the beauty that we are, you
Or
start to change
perceived
everything.
flaws, right? Because that's a
Well,
judgment of
flaws is
self, usually,
common.
right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. It does.
I
But
love
the
that.
more work you do on yourself, the more growth that comes.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. But it's continuous work on yourself, Jessica. It's looking in the mirror each day and seeing who you truly are. See
Absolutely.
yourself not through the eyes, but allow yourself to feel. Don't look with the eyes. Don't look with the eyes.
I love that.
Feel who you are.
And Yvonne says
Yeah,
that's one of the
yeah,
lessons your soul family helps you to learn, then you can
yeah.
pass it on.
Absolutely, Yvonne. Absolutely. When you feel safe and you can feel that
Yes.
love from your
Ooh,
soul
that's
family. Oh, my
the
goodness,
word.
that's powerful.
Debbie, you just said the word when you feel safe, and I felt that. Oh my God, I
Mhm.
felt that. Like, oh my God, yes, safe. Jesus, that was something I didn't feel for
Yeah,
most of my life. Now that I think about it. Wow,
yeah,
wow, wow,
yeah. But we
wow.
create
Jessica
that
says,
for
thank you,
each other.
goosebumps.
Yeah,
Hmm.
you're welcome. But you
When you
you
feel
create that for
safe.
each other. Yeah. We create the safe place for each other to
Yeah.
be us, to be
Yes,
yourself,
exactly.
to
Yes,
be yourself, you know.
indeed,
I'm glad
indeed.
that's lovely, Kelly.
And in order to create a safe place for others to be themselves, we have to do it for ourselves first, right?
It
Right.
starts
We
with
have
us,
we
it
have to
starts with
make
us.
our life a safe place for us to live in and to
Mhm.
thrive in, and then we are not teaching by words, by like you're
No,
teaching by
no.
because you're walking the walk, you're living the life, and
Mhm,
you're just showing
mhm,
up.
mhm.
Spirit tells me that all the
Yeah,
time. You just show up. I'm like, well, what if I don't do
mhm,
another show or whatever? They're like, you're doing your just fine anyway. You know what I mean? Although I'm really
mhm.
drawn to do shows, but I'm just saying, to show up and to walk the walk and to
Yeah,
just be yourself and to
yeah.
stand in your power. And then other people, authenticity. Thank you. Yes. And you can, when you show up in
Love
your
it.
authenticity, And then
Yeah.
other people start to feel comfortable showing up in their authenticity. They're like, well, if she can be herself, I can be myself, because she looks kind of crazy to me, but wait a minute, she looks really happy too.
Yeah. You grow from it. You can feel it. You can feel, oh my goodness, for once in my life, I'm me. I don't care.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
please, 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 the biggest one I can ever give anybody is to say now, I don't care what people think of me. I'm me.
Yes.
How's that? Be you. We're born to
Yes.
be who we are. Be you. You don't need to be anybody else. And you don't need to care what anybody else thinks of you.
Yes.
Be you.
Yes.
You know,
You be
self-love, absolutely. I'll tell you right to the camera, I absolutely love who I am. I love everything about me. I have my flaws, as we all have, but you know what? I don't care, because that's who I am. That's who we all are. You know, be you. Be the incredible person you are, that you were born to be, before someone told you no. You know,
Debbie, I
life
so
is a journey. Life is a
resonate.
journey.
It is, and the journey
go
is the
talk it.
destination. It's not the destination. The destination is
No,
not. The journey is the
learning.
experience. We're here for the journey.
The
right?
journey is the
Exactly.
learning. Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say. We're here for the journey.
Every experience you go through teaches you how to be you.
Yes.
You. That's what's important.
When someone else thinks it's none of our business. I love that. Abraham
I
says
love
that.
it,
I love that quote.
100%.
100%.
100%.
What other people think of you is none of your business.
And do you know why? Because they're reflecting back to them.
Yes.
It's none of your business. Yeah. Real you,
yeah. Before you were her.
Before you were her, Lisa. Yeah. Truly, not truly. I love it, Julie. I love it, Hen.
I love it.
It is. Yeah. I know, definitely. I know, as I say, we are all graded into, we're graded into a life of the way things should be, as you're saying there, David. I love you too, Jessica. I love you so much, Hen. Absolutely love you, darling. Absolutely. But do you know what I mean? The more we work in ourselves, but why do lessons keep
I can answer this one. I gotta tell her this one, because you haven't learned the lesson yet. That's why you keep. It's like you keep going back to third grade. You can't get to the fourth grade because you keep. I'm telling you, because you're giving you're wanting to grow and expand, and you haven't learned that lesson yet. I'm telling you, I married the same person 4 times and 4 different people, or 3.5, or something. Yeah. That's really all it is, right, Debbie? Do you see it that way too?
Absolutely.
It's like if I wanted to learn physics and I didn't get it the first couple of times, and I had to take the course again, I don't know why I chose physics for just now, but you know what I mean? Yeah. So, okay, now I didn't get, now I get it. Now I graduated. Next, and once you get it, once you graduate, you'll never have to do that again. I promise.
I know, exactly. And you will feel the difference. You feel the difference in your energy. See, and the thing is, I'll say this to you, Jessica. What will happen is, a lot of times we don't realise the change has happened until we actually look back and you think, oh my goodness, I'm so far removed from that person, from who I was then to who I am now. And that's when you know that something has changed. I think it's like someone had said, that synchronicity start happening, things start changing.
Yes.
Nothing stays the same. Nothing ever stays the same. It keeps moving forward, but we need to either move forward with it or stay behind. Those who have issues with boundaries are why you need. But it's so important, Lisa. You're right, Hen. So important to be kind to yourself. Sometimes we're so hard on ourselves through judgment, and it's the kinder we are to ourselves, we start to see ourselves in a different light.
Yes.
Because we need to leave it. Yeah, absolutely.
And you know,
Absolutely.
when you're saying be kind to yourself, do you agree, Debbie, that when we're when someone outside of ourselves is judging us for something, it's a
Mhm.
way that we feel about ourselves at that moment. It's a judgment. It's a personal judgment that we
Aye.
have, and the person outside of us is reflecting that back to us, and we think, oh, they're being so judgy. But you got to turn the mirror and look at yourself. You're
Ourselves.
like, oh wait, if that wouldn't be in my experience at all, if I didn't feel that way
Yeah.
about myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
lesson. Another one
Well,
of those
it's like I
lessons.
say.
Oh,
Yeah,
thank you,
it's like I
Julie.
say. Oh, thank you, darling. Thank you, Jilly. Thank you, Hen.
Keeping
Lovely.
it real.
No, but it is, and but it is, I mean, like we all can teach each other. But see if we did it with kindness, oh my goodness, what a difference it would be, wouldn't it? What a difference
Yes.
every experience would be for us. But that's the thing I always think of, for every almost like horrific thing you go through, it'll either harden you. And the biggest thing to do is to keep your heart soft. Yeah, yeah. The projecting their judgment,
Their
that's true,
judgment
Julie.
about
Very, very much
themselves.
so. Yes,
Yes.
yes, yes.
100%.
But
Yep.
But that's the thing I've always found, a lot of people come to me at different times and say, Debbie, I don't know what to do about this, and it's like I say, but when we put kindness onto something, it doesn't diminish our spirit of who we are, but it
Mm.
reflects back to them. Do you know what I mean? That kindness can go such a long way because you might not realize that you've made an impact to that person at that stage there. It could be 2, 3 years later that that person has changed because of that word of kindness that you have brought through, that you didn't even think that what you did has had an impact on that person's life. We are all responsible for ourselves. A lot of times we'll blame others for how we are feeling.
Yep. That's
But the
and
biggest
that's
lesson
usually
is,
taught to us, by the way. Those of us, I used to do
yeah,
it. I was
yeah,
taught to do that.
yeah,
I was
yeah,
taught it was my fault if my mother wasn't happy, and so everybody was still to blame when I was unhappy. And then I created that reality for
mhm,
a long time. A lot of us did that. A lot of
yeah,
us did that. Sorry, I didn't mean to just
absolutely.
jump in there. It's just like, whoa,
No,
I know
no,
what that
no,
is.
no, no,
I know what
not
that
at
feels
all,
like.
not at all. No, not at all, not at all. And this is what's beautiful about, when we're sitting here talking, okay, talking as friends,
Mm.
giving our experiences, and we're helping each other. That's what's beautiful, and that's what
Yes,
soul family is. It's helping each other. Yeah, and I
I
was
like that.
just reading Spencer's, in each situational experience, we're either a student or a teacher, the empower or the one who need. Absolutely,
I like that.
absolutely. We are all here for each other. But we
Yes.
can either think about it this way, we can either sit and take in the experience and think, right, what is this teaching me? Or we can become hostile.
Yes,
And when we
that's true.
become hostile, we don't learn because we allow the mind come in
Mm-hmm.
and make all the judgments.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if we sit and allow ourselves to let that flow and go with the experience, so that it doesn't, as I say, the biggest thing is hardening the heart. When the heart becomes hardened, there's no place for love. So we see from a place of fear. But
Mm.
whereas if we just
Yes.
walk that path, looking at each experience as we go through it, but reflecting in yourself of what it's given you. It's understandable to know the why, but sometimes that answer comes through time, Jessica,
Yeah.
through the experience. You understand, okay, now it's like when I think about it, when I think I was married the first time, and then think to myself now when I think of my husband I'm with, and I think I'm so glad of the experience I had then because it really showed me how to appreciate. I wasn't appreciated, so it showed me the care and the love that my husband gives me.
That's
He's a real gentleman, absolute gentleman. So, you could take that for granted, but because of my experience in the past, it's made me appreciate him even more. so that our relationship is stronger. So can you understand that although that was a very happy time for me, I've come away with it thinking, right, what has this taught me? And it's a good thing to actually ask yourself each experience you go through, what is this teaching me? What do I feel from this? You know, and then I look at my children, and my children teach me so much.
Yes.
But we have to be open to see it. Do you know what I mean? Mhm. You know, it's amazing. Sometimes others see their faults looking at you, yeah. First time you and nice to meet you, Tina. Lovely to meet you.
Welcome,
You know,
Tina.
and it is, I mean, it is, you know, it's there's so much when you think, I mean, tonight's talk was on soul
Soul
family, but
family
you can see how
expanded.
you can see how it expands and it takes in such a beautiful learning when we actually start to see it not from the narrowed mind, but from the expanded mind.
Yes. That's why
You
Spirit
see what I
didn't give
mean?
us an outline or instructions. They just wanted us to show up. That's right. Spirit just wanted us to show up. And
Yeah,
they're like the analytical part of my mind
yeah.
is like, well, because I have some planets in Virgo in my chart. I'm like, but I want to have a little bit of, but I am a go with the flow kind of person. And so is Debbie. And we're like, we're just going to go with the flow. So
Go with the
here we are.
flow.
And look at how
Mhm,
beautifully this is unfolded into just exactly
mhm.
what it's meant to be. You know,
Meant to be,
we've
yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
been incredible, guys. And it's actually been
Absolutely,
2 hours. We're supposed to
absolutely.
be an hour show. We've been on 2 hours. It flew by. And
Yeah,
David Osborne, hello, David.
absolutely.
Oh
Yeah. Hi,
gosh,
David.
yes.
Lovely to see you, David. Absolutely lovely.
This was the
And yeah,
nicest
no, David,
people I've
oh
ever
my
met. Have
goodness.
all suffered
Yeah,
major trauma in their lives. And instead of breaking them,
yeah.
it was making them be such beautiful souls. Yes, I
And
love what you're saying.
that's you, my friend David, that's you. That describes you so well. And it teaches, you know, the more broken sometimes we become, there's so much compassion within us, you know. And it's
Yes.
just lovely. And that's it. You know, we choose to how we react to things. We either react through you know, we either react lovely, thank you, Julie, thank you, darling, thank you. We either react through kindness, and if we can't react through kindness, we step back, please. We step back. Because remember, at the end of the day, we only hurt ourselves. For any of those thoughts that we bring on ourselves, we hurt our own self, you know. And I thank you for all coming and joining us tonight because it's just been wonderful, and that's what it is, you know.
1.5. Thank you.
But
My
it's just, you
math.
know, this
That's
is the
you know.
thing. It's just lovely to come and talk with friends, and you see the beautiful evening we've had sitting talking together as friends, and just enjoying that time, and hopefully each and every one of us, myself and Megan included, will have taken away and learned from this tonight that we can help others on their path to understand why sometimes we fall down and how we can help ourselves move forward. And all that is just the love of each other, giving that love to each other with no fear, no judgment, you know. So
I
just
just
I
like
want to
that.
personally thank everybody that's come and joined us. It's been absolutely marvellous evening, absolutely marvellous, and especially with there being a first one, Megan. Thank you, my darling, as well, Megan, for hosting
Oh,
it and coming on, and it's just been amazing, absolutely amazing.
you are very welcome. And welcome, Kelly Jean. We're actually leaving now, but watch the replay, girl. You're
Sorry,
going to
we're
love
just
this.
finishing, darling.
That's all right. You're going to love this replay.
Yeah,
I'm telling you.
yeah,
Oh, thank
yeah.
you, Lisa. Thank you,
Oh,
everyone, for
thank you, Lisa.
joining us.
Yeah.
This has been an incredible
Oh,
experience.
you're
You're very
welcome.
welcome, Kim McElwain. And that's
Oh,
another one of my
bless.
soul family members right there, Kim McElwain. I love you guys all so much. And Debbie, my beautiful
Yeah.
soul sister, who has the
Oh,
exact
I love
same
you, darling.
birthday. We have the same birthday, day, month, and year.
Yeah.
we planned on this before we
Exactly.
were born, and here we are doing it.
Or we set it up many years ago.
Right?
It was in our contract. We're going to be doing this.
Mhm.
You're
I
welcome,
could
Spencer.
just see us in spirit, like pre-birth, before we're born. Okay, we're like, okay, any last minute advice? No, I'll see you when we're like 55 or something like that. Yeah, all right. Oh, hang on, mom's about to give birth. Gotta go now. Woo! You know what I mean? And then we suck down into the bodies, and and then we lived our own lives, and here we are now, just like we planned.
Oh, exactly. Well, listen, there will be. We haven't got the topic for next week as yet, so we'll be putting that up on. Megan will be putting that on, and we'll be having a different topic next week to discuss. So please come and join us. And as I say, we'll have a lovely conversation, whatever next week's going to be about. But thank you, everybody. It has been absolutely marvelous, and thank you very much. Okay. Bye. Okay.